What's good, everybody? It's your boy Jarod and your girl Gabby. We are back. Episode 56 of the Kicks and Shit Show. Gabby, no.
I feel like we just took a moment of silence, Jarod, for your voice and no air horn. I like that we both paused at the same time.
Yeah, no air horn. As you know, I was back covering basketball games in person this weekend at Barclays Center and chatting with my fellow media colleagues in Media Row. Because the damn music was so loud and the arena was so loud, I had to yell for people to hear me. So, here we go.
I don't know. You're giving me, like, I know this is a different show, but, like, crazy, sexy, cool voice vibes, this raspiness. Okay, Jarod. I hear you.
Yes, as always, we are bringing up the K&S After Dark promos.
Beats in the streets, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
But what is going on in your streets?
Well, Jarod, there are some interesting streets to be had. Let me tell you, though, I got to say, I'm very excited that outside is open, although I feel like I'm time traveling because every day is a different day. There are no rules. It's like spring break, no parents. But it's exhausting being outside. Like, I kind of forgot, like, in the way that we had Liz on this past week to talk about how mental health is a muscle, being outside is a muscle that I have not flexed in a while. And, like, your girl can hang.
Not now, you can't.
I can hang. I'm great in the moment. I just might need to sleep till 11 o'clock the next day, which I'm like, what's happening? Like, I feel fine. I don't know what's going on. But it's nice to be out, these 90-degree streets out of nowhere. You know how that New York weather is. It's either terrible or it's terrible. We have our 1 week of spring that happens randomly between mid-March to, like, the end of May. We don't know when it's going to be. And then it's either rain or full-blown humidity. Back to regular programming.
We are everyone's back to regular programming, and that's what it's been. But, given that Memorial Day weekend was a rainy, cold fest, it was nice to be, even though it was 90 and it was warm and humid, fine. It was just nice to be outdoors. And you're right, like, it is sort of getting used to just being outdoors again and doing that, like, oh, man, like, just walking to a restaurant and, like, being out there. I mean, look, I'm getting way past the days of, like, day drinking and, like, I'm like, nah, I can't really do that. Not in this heat and humidity.
I believe in you, Jarod. I think you could if you wanted to. I mean, I feel like even the fact that my shoulders haven't even seen the light of day in a long time, like, I know I'm wearing a very risque outfit for the show this week, you guys.
You are showing skin, which never happens. Yes, feet in the street, which you're always trying to promote out here. But just that's not your thing. You normally, even in the summertime, you're like long sleeves, hoodies.
I mean, I'll wear a t-shirt. Yeah, like I think the most skin I show are like a little bike short leg, but
were the bike shorts in full effect this weekend?
Bike shorts were in full effect, but I will say something that was very unique to me that was very surprising to my friends because I'm like, I feel like it's like a coming out party every time you're going out because you haven't seen people in a minute, right? Yep. So not only did your girl wear a dress, I also I'm a curvy lady. So, I usually wear high cut things.
You weren't? Oh,
I
Lord.
did not. I actually borrowed a dress from our loyal follower, Ellen, one of your favorite listeners, I know.
Ellen, shouts to my free shoes, Ellen. Thank you very much.
Shouts to Ellen. And I did not wear sneakers. Everyone's like, what kicks are you rocking with this dress? And I was like,
shoes?
I'm not.
Did you wear shoes? Heels?
I wore sandals. Heels. Let's not get carried away. Okay? Dress and heels. Like,
what do you think this is?
Vegas? More to come on that later,
well,
folks.
Well, no. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Let's,
Exactly. That includes the feats in the streets. These feats were made for the streets, Jarod.
I can't imagine what the insanity of Vegas is post-COVID. Or did they even have a post-COVID? Or were they just always like, we do whatever we do whatever we're doing?
I am happy to report back and let you know how it goes for our listeners, you guys. Your girl's taking a vacation for the first time in a very long time. And I've decided to
go to Vegas.
How I just gave this whole spiel about how exhausting it is being outside. I was like, it's a great idea. 8 days in Vegas. It's like the fucking Hanukkah of Las Vegas and COVID. It's like happy Hanukkah, Mazel Tov, Shabbat Shalom, good night and good luck.
Are we day pooling?
We are day pooling. I feel like you got a day pool. The older that I get, the more I appreciate a good day pool versus like a nightclub.
But will you be wilding out at the day pool?
Depends on the day of the week. But, I've planned like adult-friendly activities. Like we might actually go see the PBR rodeo while it's in town.
I'm sorry,
we're going to go hiking. Oh, yeah, you heard me correctly. Did ask,
The PBR
I mean, I
rodeo.
think like 8 days of day drinking
is a lot.
Like, is a lot even at 22. Your girl's not 22 anymore. I know I can hang, but like I also think it's okay to have a little bit of balance. So just we're going hiking one of the days.
Cool.
We're spreading out the love. I feel like the first weekend, I'm also just very curious how it is in Vegas, right? Because I've heard multiple different things from people that clubs weren't open and then all of a sudden Omni is open, but dance floors aren't open. But dance floors are open in New Jersey. So I would find, I'm no scientist, but I would think
I play one on TV.
If they're open in New Jersey, I would find it very hard to believe that they're not open in Las Vegas. But I might be standing corrected at our next episode.
I'm looking forward to a full report because I might be going to Vegas in August. Clearly not for the same reasons you're going. I will not be hitting up any clubs or anything like that.
I just was hitting up clubs.
Summer League is back. And so I will be most likely covering Summer League in Vegas. I just want to see what the vibe is like in these COVID times.
I'm happy to report back. And, maybe if we play our cards right, sorry, Vegas joke right there, maybe we'll do an episode from Vegas. Maybe I will be reporting live next week. Well, we'll see. I don't want to get anyone too excited, but you know what, Jarod, I have to ask though,
yes,
do you get a +1 for Summer League?
Are you trying to join me at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas for Summer League basketball?
I thought you'd never asked, Jarod. I'm flattered. I would love to come.
That wasn't an actual invite. We'll see. We'll talk off air about that.
I mean, basketball, sneakers, you know what I mean? You guys let us know. I feel like this should be something that happens. Beats in the Streets does Las Vegas.
Listen, there could be something there. Speaking of people and their feet in the streets, the Nice Kick social media account took a picture over the past few days of a certain Mr. Kanye West, him of the Yeezy Adidas fame, rocking a pair of Nikes. Now, this isn't the first time that Kanye has done something like this. He's Kanye. He just kind of does whatever he does. But I thought it was really interesting because we had our friend Diana Morales on, who is in, I don't know if she's still with Nike now, she's with a different brand now, but who's been sponsored by shoe brands. And it is very specific. You are not allowed to be photographed or seen in any other shoes besides the ones that are paying you for. And so I'm like, interesting, Kanye. Rocking a little the Nike Vandal High, the Terminator. I was like, ooh, that's a nice shoe. Interesting.
Yeah, Yeezus walks, let me tell you. I mean,
you and your puns.
I love it. I just can't wait to see Drake's feet in the streets if he's going to be rocking New Balance or something. I feel like he's got to throw us off. He can't rock Adidas, but I think it's really interesting, and I think Kanye does Kanye like only Kanye does. I know you touched upon that, but I don't know. I think there's been a lot of hype around his shoes coming around the summer, so maybe he thought he was going to fly under the radar.
I mean, his whole fit. Gabby, first of all, he's got you can't even see his face. He has a full-on, invisible man mask on. What the?
I mean, he's Kanye, Ye does what Ye does. That's all I got to say. I feel like we have to show this photo, too, so everyone can see
it.
We're going to post it on social media as well, guys.
We'll post it on social, and we'll drop it in the in the video. Super producer Q. Drop that photo right here.
I'm not as concerned about the shoes, but could he breathe in that thing? Is he trying to that mask looks like he's steaming some broccoli. I'm concerned, or he's straining some pasta.
It does.
Do we even know that this is Kanye? Is he auditioning for a movie as the villain? I don't know.
Good point. What if it's not even Kanye? How do we know that?
We don't. It's giving me almost Trump vibes from the side of that profile.
Jesus,
the extension of the back of that mask looks like that a certain hair piece that we had come to know so well the past 4 years.
Let's so thankful we don't have to look at that anymore. But from a business standpoint, I do wonder, because we know Kanye was angling to get on the board, right, of Adidas, and I wonder if this is one of his ways of being like, you guys know I moved the needle for you. Now, that's a question for you: is Kanye Adidas's most important person
currently?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm waiting in the wings to see what Jerry Lorenzo's going to do. So I don't think Kanye is necessarily the most important. I think right now he is the biggest breadwinner on behalf of the brand. Adidas has been getting a little experimental, which I respect. I don't always as big of a fan as it. I think, like, in a way, people are talking more about New Balance right now than they are about Kanye, which I think, is very fitting that they're relaunching and retroing a few of like his key pairs, right? Like, me, I love the Wave Runners, the original ones. So I'm very excited that those are coming back. I think that's very interesting, especially because those have had a few iterations of being retroed, So I think that it's interesting to see in lieu of his partnership with Gap. I don't know if Kanye is the best at focusing on multiple things at the same time. I think Kanye does what Kanye does, and but that's what's great about him, right? That's why we are always following and always waiting to see what he does for that exact reason. So I'm here for it. I'm intrigued. I think he is also a little bit petty. Not as petty as our man 50 Cent, but I do think that if he's not getting what he wants from Adidas, it makes absolute sense that that's the move that he's going to go with, because Kanye does Kanye better than Kanye.
He is a taste and culture provocateur, right? To say the least. And he, to your point, we talk about him because he matters in popular culture, in sneaker culture, right? I mean, he's one of those omnipresent figures that we've had, and he's been that for quite some time now. So interesting. We'll keep our eye on that situation. Something else that came to my attention, Gabby, that I thought was so fascinating, and you'll talk about this more. We live in an age now of like the subscription model, right? That seems, it's like PM per member per month. That's how every company that starts a brand or whatever, or some kind of company, that's what they want to do. Get people on the hook, paying for money, paying something for every month. So I just looked up and I was like, this is interesting. A sneaker subscription model, and it is KYX World. And I was like, oh, this is quite interesting. And it is an opportunity for people to pay a subscription model and have access to elite hot sneakers that they cannot get on Sneakers app or through however other releases are done, because, bots and different people get them. And I thought, well, this is a way. I mean, if you really are someone who you want to cop a pair and you want to rock them and do whatever, is this something that could be viable, that people say, I will pay X amount of dollars per month, and there's all different pricing plans, depending on how many shoes a month you want, whatever. Now, the challenge, of course, with it is you don't get to keep the shoes, right? It's, you have them for the month, you return them, but then next month, a whole new set come in, right? And again, you're paying whatever your monthly fee is, and it's tiered. I think it's fascinating, and I know for you, it kind of hits you a little personally. So I'm going to let you talk about this, because I think this may be the future of sneaker wear, maybe.
I think this is a way of the future, and I like that you're kind of teeing this up, because just so you guys know, I've had an idea similar to this for a while. It was actually called Feats in the Streets, trademarked. No, and I think that, it's very interesting, the model that's taken, and the feedback I got when I kind of pitched this around a few years ago was, ew, I don't want to share people's sneakers. And I was like, the way to do it, partner with a reputable cleaning brand. I mean, it works for clothing, it works for accessories. To me, putting someone else's earrings in my ears is no different than putting on shoes. It's not like I'm like renting out thongs, and I don't mean the sandals. I think there's something here, and I think the hype culture that we're in, and I don't take it personally. I think, you could have the right package at the wrong address, right? So I think timing is also everything. I think in the way that the culture is now that people are back out in the streets and they want to start flexing, some of the resale prices on these kicks that they have are insane. And to be able to flex, it's like you rent a Lambo for an event instead of driving your car. Like, there's a reason those services exist, because there's a market for it. So I think that this is very interesting. I'm curious if you eventually can pick the kicks that you get, or what that kind of leeway is. I know it's like 1 pair, 2 pair, 3 pair, depending on your subscription model. I think it's interesting. I mean, it's definitely a little bit more cost efficient, but if my advice is, if there's a pair that you really love, put the money that you're going to put for the subscription to that. Take our girl TJ's model, save up for a couple months. If it's something that's truly special to you, it's worth buying it, because then you can have it. And then you get that longevity. You can pick and choose when you wear it or not wear it. We're all about wearing our kicks. But if that's your bag, is to keep it on ice and just admire its beauty, that's also okay.
Yeah, so the levels they have, it starts as low as 49 a month, and that's for, you get one every month, all the way up to 400 a month, where you get 4 sneakers every month, right? And it varies in how much the shipment value is, right? So for that one at 400, you get $2,000 worth of kicks in your 4 pairs, right? So that could be like a super, elite pair, maybe 500, 750, or 1,000, and then maybe a couple $100 ones, and depending on what your makeup is there. And you can browse through the 275 plus styles they have. I mean, it's interesting. I'm so curious. Maybe we'll try to see if we can get somebody from KYX to come on the show and talk about it.
Yeah, I think it's interesting too. I mean, I think the inventory that they have that they've been pushing on their site, like all current, all hip, you see everything from the foam runners to the guava ices to the dunks, so it's newer inventory. I'd be very curious if it skews newer in general, or if there's like more of an OG or a grail pair, like is that on here? I want to know more. I'm intrigued.
I'm with you. I think it's just fascinating. But this is, this is the world we live in now, right? Where it's just sort of like everything's kind of changing, and it's just, this is the reality of it. So they do, in fact, have the chunky dunks, which and I know you tried to get them last year. Wow, and the way they have them, $1,500. I'm like, good Lord.
Nope.
Nope.
No, thank you.
No.
But it is intriguing, and I think I'd love to see if it switches to where you can pick and choose a little bit more. I think, to me, that's a piece that is a big draw, because people plan certain fits, right? We're in a culture of social media where everyone wants to flex. They don't want to wear things multiple times anymore in the same way. And that's not unique to sneakers. That's more so with your outfit. I mean, that's why fast fashion has become such a big thing. I wonder if there's a way to translate that and mix fast fashion with sneakers and kind of have that quick consumerism when it comes to kicks. I mean, sneaker styles and trends also change rapidly, right? So like the LeBrons and the more bulky basketball style shoes aren't having a moment in the way that they were. So some of those pieces that people are trying to resell aren't moving in the same way. So that's why I think for me it's really interesting. There's obviously there's a pair of the threes. I can't tell from the picture if they're the cement threes or if they're the midnight navy. If they're the midnight navy, to me that's even more interesting. That just shows that it's classic silhouettes but current colorways, right?
Sure,
so.
Sure.
And of course, you've got to have some Travis Scotts on there. There's the pair of dunks hiding in the background. But I'd love to know what the inventory list looks like. What's the cleaning process? I mean, I know it has a lot of this on their site, and so shouts to KYX for having that. But very intrigued. I think this really could be the way of the future. And I think, there's interesting questions too. Like for me, the one thing I like about it is if you want to try on some shoes. Right? I'd love to know, is this a pair I want to buy? Like the cement threes that came out when they retroed were a little bit small. I had them in a 7 and they were a little bit too small. So do I get my next pairs in the 7.5 and see what works? Or my ambush dunks are in a 7 and they're huge on me. So do I try 6.5? I think it's, in that sense, a good way to try without feeling like you're stuck with a pair of kicks.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating. I'm going to see if we can get someone from KYX on, because this is really, really interesting. And it just follows what we're doing consumer-wise as a culture, right? I mean, it's ride sharing. It's right. Everything is this sort of not so much owning the physical, tangible asset itself, right? Versus paying this sort of subscription fee to have access to it when I need it, right? That's kind of where we're at. Well,
perception is reality. It's I think people will think that people have a lot more sneakers in their collection. Not everyone can be Joe West Coast, but
Joe West Coast. Do we talk about that dude every week?
Never forget.
Okay, so another thing I saw this week, there's a store that has having success beating something that we always talk about, which is the bot culture, right? And the way in which people just sign on and they just get all the shoes that we want. And Union Los Angeles, which is a very popular store, and that they've done a lot of collaborations with Jordan Brand and Nike, that the Jordan 4s. And did you got Union 4s, didn't you? No, maybe Tara did. I feel like a recent guest got Union 4s, but anyway.
Lainey was talking about them.
Lainey was talking about them. Okay, yeah.
I have a sickness that I remember that, by the way.
But they're working to do some things to keep shoes accessible for people who really want them and get them away from the bots. And I kind of like that, right? I like this idea of, you know, working with Shopify, which is what Union LA is doing, to make sure that people have access to the shoes, you know, so as opposed to the bots and then resale markets, and I'm paying $500 for a shoe that I could have gotten for $200 if I was, you know, if I was so fortunate. I think Union LA doing this is really cool. And I would like to think that hopefully more brands and more stores would think about doing something like this.
I think that could be the reinsurgence of the mom and pop type shops too, like the individual stores and the retailers versus the big conglomerates, right? Like right now, there's not a lot of incentive for the bigger brands to change their model because a lot of them partner with the GOATs and StockX's of the world, right? I mean, I also think like there's not a day that goes by that I don't see someone posting about bots or, hey guys, pick up a different size. Like if the kicks really are for you, then why are you getting size 7, which is always so hard to get your hands on, right? It's like it's a thing. I'd be curious because I think so much is out of our control too, right? Of what's a bot versus people just buying other sizes to flip them. I'm curious what those precautions are. Is it like limit 1 pair per person? I'm sure they'll be doing stuff like that, but I think this could be, if it's a success, the new wave. I mean, I know you've said for some of the sneakers that you've tried to get, you couldn't even get in to enter the raffle.
Yeah, couldn't even get in the
I'm
raffle.
curious if this is going to be the same type of issue, but I like the direction that it's heading, and I like the message that comes with it.
Yeah, so what it looks like Union and Shopify are doing is they're making the sort of process multi-layered in terms of questions to ask. So the bots, right, really, like, so for instance, one of it is, what color is an orange, right? And the bots are just not able to answer that question, right? Because, well, an orange is orange. I mean, the answer's in the question, right? But like, and they just set up a multiple layering of questions to prevent, again, the automated bots from answering and filling it out, right? Because I think they're smart enough to do the whole click yes if you're a robot. Like that's an easy one. Yeah, or the
CAPTCHA. Find all the ones with traffic lights.
Exactly. Those are easy to trick versus like typing in actual answers to questions, right? Now, like everything else, I'm sure the people who make bots are going to figure out a way to make them smarter, and right, like it's going to be this constant back and forth cat and mouse. But I like the idea of Union LA and Shopify partnering to do this, and I hope more brands and more companies are like, yeah, let's do this so we can, because what they used to do, or what they do sometimes still, is only in-store launches, right? Which is cool if you're in LA or if you're in where, but what if you don't live in LA? What if you live in wherever and you can, I'm not flying in just for this launch and I want to get it, right? So I like this idea.
I'm intrigued by this, but one thing that I do want to call out is I think, as someone who's grown up in New York or New York City suburbs my entire life, I think when it comes to fashion, when it comes to culture items that I'm trying to get, my friends, I'll use this as an analogy, right? When I used to go back up to college, I would go to the H&M in Saratoga and in Albany, and my friends would be like, don't you have that in New York? And my response was always, it's picked over so quickly there because there's a higher demand and there's also a different appreciation for that type of style and culture. And I'm very intrigued, and, I'm more asking, I'm not trying to come from a place of ignorance, but is that an issue that is more true with cities in terms of getting inventory? Because I feel like a lot of the friends that I have that live around the country in smaller cities or even smaller towns, they have a plug at their sneaker store because there's not as many people that are trying to get the same merch. So I'm really curious to see, and I could be totally off on this one. But my understanding is I'd be curious to see if other larger city retailers follow suit.
Yeah.
But I don't see this being something that trickles to the smaller, like, mom and pop shops in different, like, second sized cities around the country.
So you're saying in Idaho, this is probably not going to happen?
I want to say Idaho, but you're correct. Yeah.
I can't. You and your puns. Just
can't hang anymore, Jarod. I'm just clearly delirious.
They're just
coming into Monday, coming in hot.
They're just ridiculous. All right, folks, stay tuned because you know what's coming up next. America's favorite segment, Shoe and Tell, presented by Another Lane, the premier digital marketplace in dope kicks. Gabby and I are going to show off a pair, that we like. That's what it is. Stay tuned. What's good, everybody? We're back. Now, you know what time it is. America's favorite segment, Shoe and Tell, presented by Another Lane. Now, Chad and Adina just killing it over at Another Lane. I mean, the platform is growing. They're out here all over the news, being seen everywhere. New York Times, on TV. Listen, they're doing the damn thing. We keep telling you, if you care about sneaker culture and you want to get involved, you want to put your collection up, you want to look for those exclusive pairs, you want to chat with like-minded people who share a love of the culture that you love so much, why aren't you on anotherlane.com? Why haven't you gone to the website? Why haven't you reached out? What are you doing? Get over there and do that. Now, it's time for us, Gabby, to do our shoe and tell. Ladies first, what do you got?
Oh, I feel like I never go first when we do shoe and tell. I'm like caught off guard a little bit. I mean, I feel like we got to have Chad and Adina back on because they really are legendary. I mean, I just hope they're not too big for us now that we don't get a call back. I'm just saying, we love you guys. I think they actually just celebrated an anniversary recently too.
They sure did.
Which I was there on the day that they met.
You were.
Very coincidentally. Great place, great time, It's the Yenta vibes that I put out. Always a bridesmaid over here, putting out the vibes. But, I'd love to have them back on because they really are such a treasure trove of knowledge in the space. And
just good people.
I was going to say lovely humans. A pair that I'm going to show today, Jarod, I'm going to tease this up because there are a few things that that I don't really rock with.
White shoes, number one.
Number two, what do I not really do too much of in the summer?
Oh, it's good summer. God, well, now you're putting me in a spot. What don't you do in the summer?
I mean, you were right with the first one, so I'm like, that's spicy. I don't do as many high tops in the summer.
That's true. Well, we're the same on that. We like lows in the summer.
Yes, exactly. So that's why this pair is a little bit different because
it's a white it's a white high top.
However, did you figure that one out, Jarod? Steph Curry with the shot, boy.
Listen,
okay,
I try.
Give me that layup every time. Take the shot, my friend. The reason I want to talk about these is because sneaker culture, to me, one of the things that I find fascinating is, there are trends that ebb and flow, right? That Dunks a couple years ago, like nobody gave the time of day about. Air Jordan 1 mids and even the high tops, like you could get them by going into a store. Now, like I had a friend who was like, I really want to get a pair of ones. Like, what do I do? And I was like, you don't. That's what you do. Or you pay resale, or you look at it in another lane or an eBay, and it's interesting seeing the classics, especially ebb and flow. So right now, a shoe that I think, a lot of the tastemakers in sneaker culture have been talking about, and I've seen them pick up just basic white pairs, is a classic Uptown. I always think of our friend Dr. Dre, where he is like the James Bond of Air Force Ones, where he like wears a pair, gets a scuff, throws it out. It's like a whole closet full of them. I mean, what a life, luxury. But
must be nice.
I don't know what that's like. That's okay.
That's all right.
I also, I love a good custom every once in a while. So this pair that I'm going to show, for me, is like kind of a must-have for summer because it's clean. And Uptown is like a classic silhouette, especially being from New York. Like, you've got to rock the Forces. I actually, I've never had an Air Force One low, which is kind of crazy. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out which one is the right pair for me. But there's something about this remix.
Oh, I like.
It's just so clean.
I like it.
There's nothing crazy with the design, with the custom. Shouts to Tommy Trillions for making this pair for me.
I like it.
But it's just.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Hey, girl. How you doing?
That's a nice summer shoe. I like that. Yeah. And
it's great with bike shorts because I can rock my Nike scrunch socks. Although I have to say, I was out with our girl Tara over the weekend. And we always observe the feet in the streets because that's one of the best things about going out now in public is like shoe contact before eye contact. Always. And let me tell you, there was this homie who had a fresh pair of kicks. I think it was actually the Guava Ice 4s. But he had his Nike tube socks pulled up so tight. Tara and I literally were like, like I feel like he gave his like feet a wedgie.
Oh man, you were clowning this dude.
I mean, respectfully, but. If you're gonna flex, do it the right way. Now, do you? If you like your socks all the way up, wear your socks all the way up. For me, I'm gonna scrunch them down. These look great with everything from bike shorts to a cute little black mini dress to white jeans because 'tis the season. I feel like there's something that's so versatile about this shoe, and there's something about the paint drip detail to me that just makes it really unique. It's like I said, it's nothing crazy. But I think sometimes we get too crazy with some of the customs, right? Like we feel like we have to do too much. Like
sometimes less is
just
better.
Enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
That's my pair.
Love what you got there.
Thank you.
Well, like you, as you know, I don't like to do high tops in the summertime either. Not, I don't like is the wrong word, but it's just I generally go lows or whatever. Now, this pair, however, is a pair that I talked about last year. And I love it so much because the colors work for spring and summer. And so I'm like, you know what? I can do it. So here we go. I'm going to show you.
When you say the colors, Jarod, what color are they?
Well, Gabby, they are neutral gray, not seafoam green.
From the angle, I see seafoam green right now. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if it's the ring light situation that's, but then you turn it and I see gray.
Yeah.
Like it looks almost two-toned. I think that's a fascinating shoe.
Yeah. So, of course, this is the Retro 7 designed to look like a bunny, a hare, if you will. This is the faux rabbit leather exterior, which I love. Of course, the pink on the outsoles here, right? Because that's the inside of a bunny's ear, right? Pink. Love it on the tongue. It's just, it's just a funky kind of shoe, right? Like from it's just like from a material standpoint and everything. And of course, you see the soles. See those soles? I wear them, guys. That's how you know. But in the summertime, I like spring and summer. I like these with a nice like blue cotton linen blend pant. Like I like these. This is my jam. And yeah, even with a cotton blend linen suit, you might see me in these. In these.
Ooh, I like that. Maybe like a white pant. Mm-hmm. Even I don't know if you go white jeans, but or white linen pant. But I'm here for it.
I definitely go white linen pant.
Jarod, though. Mm-hmm. Since you're showing these, I think there's a lot of great occasions over the summer that I think those shoes would be great for. Mm. But there's a certain date in July that I feel like, our man's LeBron already has admitted he's not playing for the Olympics this year. He's going to go play for the Toon Squad.
See, this would require me to actually go somewhere and see this movie, which is not happening.
But Jarod, what if Kicks and Shit gets invited?
Oh, well, if we get invited to a free premiere, well, then, yeah, of course we're going to that. I mean, if it's a premiere, fine, but I'm not going to actively.
So now I feel like now we've established a new set of boundaries, right? It's like, Jarod, with your principles, you're like, I am all for being against it, but it is free. Maybe I'll bend a little bit.
Well, I think right? Free is sort of my thing, and as Hazel jumps on the bed behind me.
She's like, what is this animal in the apartment? I'm taking these shoes.
If it is free and if it's something where you have an opportunity to be around people for this big premiere and to see things and to do stuff, I'll do it. But me, actually, myself, go to a movie theater and spend dollars on, no, I'm not doing that.
So what you're saying is, I just want to make sure I'm tracking correctly on this one.
I hear you.
If I buy a
no,
and we write it off on our taxes for market research for the show, I even am a gentleman, so I'll pick you up in my car. Maybe I'll put the top down, get real fancy, or I'll get you an Uber XL because only the finest for you, Jay. You're still saying that's a no?
No, yes, that's a no. I'm saying if we are invited to the premiere where there will be celebrities and stars and an after party, yeah, I'll go to that.
Okay, well, who said anything about an after party? You just said a premiere. Let's not get carried away, okay? Okay.
So shouts to all our friends at Warner Brothers et al. Who can hook us up.
You never know.
Listen, you got to put it out there or else...
Manifest that shit, yo.
Got to. Well, folks, that was another rousing edition of Shoe and Tell, America's favorite segment, presented by Another Lane. Check out anotherlane.com. Make sure you see what's going on. And that's it for our show today. A quick one. Just wanted to make sure we touch base with you guys, see what's happening. We got some cool guests in the coming weeks, and we're going to keep this thing rocking all summer long. Stay cool out there. As always, you know where we are. We're on all social media platforms at Kicks and Shit Show. We are a part of the Bomb Podcast family. We're Count the Dings. We're there. So make sure you check us out. And until next time, peace.